poor man accidentally discovered that there was another space inside his ancestral mirror. Curious, he reached his hand inside, but what the man didn't know was the space on the other side of the mirror was actually connected to the Roman Empire over 1,000 years ago. On the other side of the mirror, a princess of the empire was praying devoutly with her eyes closed. Her nation was suffering a severe disaster at that moment. The princess prayed to God for enough food and water to save her country. Just then, the man's hand, through the mirror, touched a maid's butt. The maid turned around and saw a hand sticking out from the mirror. She immediately fainted from fright. He took a piece of jade that was placed near the mirror. When the princess opened her eyes, she realized that the jade in front of her had disappeared. The princess thought her sincerity had finally moved God. Excited, she ordered the maid to prepare more offerings. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mirror, the man was carefully examining what he had taken out of it. He was very puzzled. Although the object looked novel, it was definitely not something from his own time. To verify whether this antique was real or fake, the man brought it to an appraisal TV show. Unexpectedly, as soon as the man stepped onto the stage, he saw a face in the audience that he could never forget. And that person was Jack, the man he hated most in his life. Just a few days earlier, Jack and his girlfriend Mary, along with their men, had found him. They forced him to sign a land selling agreement. Jack was an antique dealer worth $1 billion. His family planned to build an art museum on that land. But on that land stood the orphanage where the man had grown up. Once Jack acquired it, he would demolish the orphanage. The man stubbornly refused Jack. Unexpectedly, Jack stepped directly on the man's head and viciously declared that whether the man agreed or not, the land would belong to him. Then Jack had his men force the man to press his handprint on the contract. From then on, the man could only leave the orphanage. He swore to make Jack and his girlfriend Mary pay the price. He never expected to run into them on the show. When Jack saw the poorly dressed man, he immediately mocked him as a garbage collector and said he knew nothing about real antiques. The man ignored them and instead took the jade piece out of his pocket. Unexpectedly, the room was instantly filled with mocking laughter. Even the appraisal experts confidently said they had never seen an antique that looked so new. Jack and Mary also laughed at the man, calling him a fool, saying that even if he wanted to fake it, he shouldn't bring something so obviously new. Hearing everyone's comments, the man started to panic a little. But what he didn't know was, after he took out that jade piece, an old man immediately stood up, trembling with excitement. He had studied antiques for so many years, yet this was the first time he had ever seen a treasure of this level. It turned out that the show the man attended was broadcast live worldwide, right above the recording studio. The most respected master in today's antique world, Smith, was watching the live stream. Seeing the jade piece the man had brought out, Smith was absolutely certain that the jade was definitely an authentic piece worth tens of millions of dollars. But at the show, not a single person believed the man's item was real.